My collaborators and I started this project because we wanted to push back a bit on this societal narrative that women are worse negotiators than men. And we wanted to dig deeper because we thought certainly there are some things that women are doing at the negotiating table that might pose an advantage in some contexts. And indeed, we found that women tend to be more relationally oriented than men, concerned about how they're coming off to the person on the other side of the table. And in turn, they're less likely to reach impasses in negotiations. So they're more likely to actually reach a deal, which is particularly beneficial when negotiators have weak alternative offers. We took a multi-method approach in this paper, and the TV show Shark Tank played a big role in our findings. So one of my co-authors, Ani, and I watched a bunch of seasons of Shark Tank along with the research assistants that were helping us out with the project. And we coded each entrepreneurial pitch for a variety of elements. And especially important for our project, we were looking at different markers of relational orientation. So in particular, we were focusing on entrepreneurs' emotional expression in their pitches, and also the extent to which they were divulging personal narratives and stories. And we found that women tended to engage in these relational behaviors as they were pitching more than men. And women also were more likely to secure a deal with the sharks than were men on the show. We also wanted to establish causal support. So we ran several other experiments in which we had participants engage in a negotiation simulation where they were negotiating against a computer, imagining that they were negotiating a job offer. Those who had more of a relational orientation, as measured by survey items, ended up negotiating more offers than those who were lower in a relational orientation. And importantly, we found that this resulted in women outperforming men in these negotiations when they had weak alternative offers. So half of our participants we told you have a different job offer, and half of our participants we told you have no other job offer. So among those participants who were told they had no alternative offer, we saw women outperforming men in those situations due to their increased relational orientation. So we were focusing on a negotiating context, but I think the power of having a relational orientation is paramount as more and more of our work is being done within teams. So it's important for us to be able to trust those that we're working with, to rely on them to show, I am interested in how I'm coming off to you and in the relationship we're developing. So I think we shouldn't overlook the importance of having a more relational orientation at work more broadly, especially as we're increasingly working with others to accomplish our goals and the goals of our organizations. This narrative that we hear time and time again in research in the media that women just underperform at the negotiating table can be really damaging for women's self-esteem and their sense of self-efficacy. And it can also promote stereotypes that women just aren't good negotiators. And these findings show that women can have a strategic advantage at times because of the way we've been socialized to pay attention to our relationships, how we're coming off to those across the table from us. So I hope people, regardless of their gender, can take these findings and understand that you have to be strategic in the behaviors you use. And sometimes you should push and be assertive as possible. And sometimes you might want to take a step back and think more about the relationship you're building, depending on the alternative offers that you have in your back pocket. And I think beyond an individual level, we've heard for years and years now that women should behave more like men to get ahead and to be successful. So we heard Sheryl Sandberg and the Lean In movement encouraging women to take their seat at the table, be aggressive and assertive, to attain leadership positions, to succeed in their career. And then more recently, we've heard people like Mark Zuckerberg talking about this need for masculine energy in organizations. And I hope these findings can illustrate that there is a place for more traditionally feminine and communal behaviors at work, and that they can be a source of strength and strategic advantage for our workplaces.